The historic Sydney Cricket Ground, the birthplace of rugby league in Australia. This is the way they handle their major matches, just as impressive as their standard of rugby, and this is your invitation to be part of the action. Roger Millward led the first ever big tour in 1984. We asked him about going to Australia as a traveller, not as a player.
Well, there is a great difference from being a player and a traveller. When you're a player, you go there just to do one job, that's to get out on the field and win games. And you're looked after. The management makes sure that you're well looked after, and you've no problems, really. As a courier, you find it vastly different. The last trip I took, we had 150 people there. And it's amazing some of the questions that they ask you. And it's really fun, really, because the people are there for an holiday, they want to enjoy themselves, and it's our job to make sure that they do enjoy themselves. And really, it's no problem, because we tend to have good relationships with the people on tour, and you build a bit of a bond up between each other, and you just go out there and enjoy yourselves. And I remember being outside the hotel in Sydney, and there were two couples there asking me where I was going. And I said, oh, we're going to watch North Sydney play against Balmain. And they said, oh, we're going there. What number bus do we need? And I said, how the hell do I know what number bus we need? You know, it's little things like that that just keep it going, and really everybody looks after each other. We have a good time. One of the lads, while we were out there last time, had her 21st birthday, and we organised a karaoke night, and everybody got stuck in there, and it was just a marvellous occasion. And you'd be surprised how many people meet up, and then they're friends for life. And there'll be a lot coming back again on this trip with us, and hopefully into the year 2000. You get some marvellous occasions out there, and you know, it really starts from Gatwick, really, where you meet people down there. Everything's organised down there. There's buses come down from the north. We meet people off the buses, taking them into the coffee lounges, make sure they're settled and make sure they know what's happening, and then get all the baggage and get up to Gatwick, or this time it's going to be Manchester or something like that, and make sure that all the tickets are there, the boarding passes, and everybody's ready for going. Probably one of the funniest tales that we had with that is that a bus came down on the last tour and came in to Gatwick, and we got all the people off, got them into the coffee lounge, and I got one guy coming to Dennis, and he said, Roger, I've lost my watch. We'd just packed the bus up with the cases again, so I said, Dennis, where were you sat? And he said, at the back somewhere. So we unloaded all the cases, looked for it, and we couldn't find it. And we took the case up to Gatwick, come back, and about an hour later he said, Roger, I found my watch. I said, Dennis, where was it? And it was an expandable watch, and it had gone up his arm. So that was unbelievable, you know. So, you know, you get your characters on tour, and that's what we love. Unfortunately, Dennis in Sydney then, he was coming home late one night, and he lost his way, and he asked these three chaps where the Rushcutters Bay Hotel was, and they said, oh, it's across the park there. So Dennis trundled off, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, the police knocked on my door and said, do you know Dennis? I said, yes. He said, could you come down, please? So I went down, and unfortunately, Dennis had been mugged, and they pinched his watch. But that's life, and I say, there's great characters like that. The organisation is good. That's our job. We work hard to make sure that you get what you want, and really on the journeys everything's catered for. So, you know, it's just a matter of getting out there, enjoying your holiday, and being part of the setup.
In line with a consistent policy since that first tour in '84, International Rugby Tours has improved the standard of hotels on offer every time. This tour, the Sydney Renaissance will host, in most cases for the whole of their stay, all the parties visiting the city. Peter Fox, another of our 6 celebrity couriers, has vivid memories of his first sight of Sydney.
Yes, well, all the films you've just seen on Sydney and Sydney Harbour, the Opera House, we've seen that. I've been there. Last time I was there live, and I thought that Sydney was a magnificent place. It's a beautiful skyline at night, and there's a famous postcard of that skyline. I've seen that live. Peter, very romantic.
And how about the rugby league action?
The rugby is very exciting. It's presented differently to our rugby, and of course it's always firm grounds and good weather. You sit out in the sunshine and you can enjoy the rugby. It's very exciting.
Peter, what was it like being a courier?
Well, it is hard work as being a courier, but with the group of people that you're with, you're part of the party as well as organising everything for them, match tickets and everything. But it's the sights you see outside the rugby that impressed me. It was my first visit in '92 as a courier. We had a wonderful time, and the people on the tour really made it for me. We saw Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, the big cities. We went to Penrith in the Blue Mountains, and the visit to the Blue Mountains was terrifically exciting. The cavernous mountains, the draws, the caverns, it was like being in America, you know, all those cowboy films. And the gimmick me, the lads got me to go on this sky ride. If you've seen 007 and all them films, you saw Richard Burton in that big film jump from one of these cable cars to another. Well, we went in this cable car high above the Blue Mountains, and believe it or not, it did happen to me. It had to do. Stranded halfway across, and there was the cable car waving from side to side. A helicopter high in the sky was coming, and we thought it was coming to rescue us. We were stranded up there. Anyway, after about 15 minutes, they got us back to ground again. There's no way that I want to be stranded in a place like that. And all the sights that we saw, the barbecues we had, and we went to some of the other matches, the Sydney matches, local league matches, other than the Great Britain tour matches and the test matches, of course. That's the principal reason we were going, to see the test matches. And we were there on that famous night in Melbourne when Great Britain won that second test match. What a night to be there. And it's one of those things you can say that during your time, I was there when Great Britain beat the Aussies in that test match. We had a fantastic time. We played golf. Oh, by the way, I've got to tell you this. I am the Queensland Open Championship champion from our party. So if any of you play golf, we arrange golf trips for you. If you want to see the see Cairns and the Barrier Reef, you can see that. It's all arranged for you. Everything is done for you. You have nothing to bother about. Tickets here, tickets there. If you want to go to the Theatre Opera House, you can go. We'll arrange it for you. We go on various trips as well, and on the trips we have buses. My bus took all the people that were what we call doubles, the older people, while Casey looked after all the young kids. So the young kids never had a problem wherever they went in Sydney or Brisbane. Brisbane, the Gold Coast, it's like Scarborough, Blackpool, all built into one. It's like the Riviera in other words, and a magnificent place. You sun yourself by the beach, and by the way, this is their winter, and we were out in short sleeves, walking about, and the Aussies had all overcoats and raincoats on and scarves, and we couldn't understand it because we were still warm. The environment was tremendous, but having said all that, we saw the rugby. That's what went for me. And we saw the rugby. We saw the sights of Australia, and believe me, there are sights. Forgive me, except for one. I never saw a kangaroo live, and I was there for a month. I saw koala bears, but I never saw a kangaroo, because apparently they come out in the dark, and when they come out in the dark, we weren't in the bush in the dark. We were back in the big city, enjoying ourselves. And that's the thing. We made his own entertainment at night. We'd sing songs and storytellers, and you get the company that you want to be in, and there's always careers with you.
Let's leave Sydney and go travelling. All the tours will stay on Queensland's Gold Coast, and all, except for the room-only budget special, will stay at the Ramada in Surfers Paradise, overlooking the Pacific Ocean, on top of the bars and nightlife, and with its own walkway to the sandy beach. Groups in Brisbane will stay together in a variety of central hotels, all 4-star standard and similar to the City Travelodge. Brisbane's a friendly, compact city, nowhere very far away. Test venue Lang Park is about 10 minutes from the Travelodge. Most of the lucky ones who visit Cairns will stay here at the Grand Barrier Reef Resort, 14 miles out of the city, between the rainforest and the Coral Sea. Looking after you during your stay will be one or more of International Rugby Tour's celebrity couriers. Roger Millward and Peter Fox we've already mentioned, and they'll be joined by Tony Barrow, Eddie Bowman, Mike Smith and Billy Benyon. IRT is also handling Len Casey's tour, the trip being taken by Graham Stedman and Kevin Beardmore, and the Bradford Northern Supporters Tour.
Many travellers take their video cameras with them to get a picture story of a once-in-a-lifetime holiday. We're going to show you some clips now from one of our travellers on our last tour.
The tour arrived on Friday morning. That evening we were at Parramatta to see Great Britain play the Eels. On the Saturday we went to St George's, where we had our first taste of the facilities at a Sydney Leagues club, and then on to Kogarah, home of St George's, to see the Dragons play Newcastle. After a quick dinner, we were on our way to Belmore for the Bulldogs against Cronulla, and a visit to the luxurious Canterbury Leagues Club. A trip to Manly on the Jetcat, leaving Circular Quay alongside the famous bridge with a view of the Opera House from the bay. The journey to Manly is about 20 minutes. When arriving there, there's a short walk down the avenue opposite the ferry landing, which takes us to the Pacific Ocean, past all the fresh fish shops, ice cream parlours and gift shops. Australians are well known for their barbecues, so we had a day out at the Hunter Valley, the wine region of New South Wales, to taste the nectar and enjoy a typical Australian barbie. The couriers had a photo call. Len Casey went walkabout. And then it was on to Newcastle to see the Knights play Great Britain, and then back to Sydney. Bondi Beach, world famous, owes its fame to the fact that it was the first beach in the centre of Sydney where everyone would go for swimming, surfing and sunbathing. As Sydney has expanded, other beaches have become more popular, but to the rest of the world, Bondi retains its romance. One of the most enjoyable nights was at Carlton Park, Melbourne. The ground is a typical Aussie rules stadium. It rained incessantly that night when Great Britain beat the Australians, but it didn't dampen our spirits. Afterwards, we went partying. There was more liquid inside us than there was outside on Melbourne. Back in Sydney, we had a weekend at the footy, going to see our favourite Winfield Cup teams. Before leaving Sydney for the last time, we had a day in the Blue Mountains, so called because of the blue haze in the air, which is caused by the sun evaporating the oil in the eucalyptus leaves. Three Crags, known as the Three Sisters, is a famous landmark. It was near these peaks that Peter Fox had his hair-raising experience on the cable car that stuck. On our way back to Sydney, we called in for dinner and refreshments at Penrith Leagues Club. It's at the foot of the Blue Mountains, and the club is the focal social point of the whole area. On the later part of our tour, we left Sydney for Brisbane, whose main feature is its winding, languorous river. A journey down the river will show parts looking just the same as the first settlers would have seen. In the centre of Brisbane is the Mall, where you can enjoy a good browse and shopping. A short walk will take you to the City Hall, where you just might bump into a crowd of fellow Pommy supporters or meet the odd friendly native. A short river trip will take you to the reserve, where koalas, kangaroos with their joeys in their pouch, and even the occasional emu can be seen. Our real purpose for being in Brisbane at this time was to see the third test. The atmosphere at Lang Park is the closest to being at home, and holds a very special place in the hearts of all Queenslanders, and also for our supporters who've toured previously. The large stand is where we were for the test match. Elevators take you up to the top deck. We finished the Australian part of our tour in Surfers Paradise, with its beautiful beaches and relaxing atmosphere. We were spoilt for choice between swimming, surfing, gambling, sailing and fishing. This time round, there's a full spread of different tours, varying in length between 20 and 26 days, going via the Far East, Canada or South Africa, with a selection of optional holiday stopovers at prices to suit a range of budgets and offering various degrees of independence.
Me, I'm an enthusiast. I don't consider myself a courier or anything. I go there and I enjoy myself, and all you people that come with us, I'm sure you'll enjoy it with us, because, believe me, apart from all the sights to see in Australia, which we see everything, Sydney, magnificent place, it's the people that you're with that make the tour. And we some tremendous people with us on our tour. And I hope you can come along with us and enjoy what we enjoyed last time.